If your design breaks when you resize the screen, it's usually because of constraints. So what are constraints? Constraints tell Figma how elements should behave when the screen size changes. So you can see these elements here on this frame here. If I resize the screen, it's just stuck to the same place. It doesn't move no matter where I put it on this frame. It's just basically there. It's not going to move. All right. So if you want to make your design responsive, that is where constraints will come in. So if I select this and I move to this part of my panel, the right panel here, you realize that you are going to see constraints over here. Okay, so you are going to see constraints over here. Remember, constraints wouldn't work when auto layout is applied to your frame. So let me just apply an auto layout to show you. Shift A. You realize I have applied an auto layout. So when I click on this, I wouldn't see constraints on the right panel here. All right, so let me just remove the auto layout and see what I'm talking about. So I've removed the auto layout. If I click back on it, I'm going to see constraints here. So let's see what constraints are. So let me click on it and then I'll set it to center by double clicking this plus sign. So you realize that anytime I move, the frame, increase the sizes, it also moves with it. So if I move it this way, it is at the center and then it's going to be stuck there. It is not going to be just at one part. It's going to move with it and make sure the distance is the same. Okay, so this is what is happening here. So if I reduce this as well, so if I click back on the elements here and I set this to left, all right, and I set this to bottom. So what is happening here is that this element here is going to maintain the same distance from the left side of the frame and it's going to maintain the same distance from the bottom of the frame no matter how I resize it. So if I increase it this way, you realize that it is stuck there, and if I increase it this way, it is moving in order to maintain the distance from the bottom to the element. If I increase it at the top, realize that it stays here because it's trying to maintain this distance basically. Okay, so let's see another thing constraints also does. So let me just put this image here, the element here, and then I'll click on the right button. Okay, so right here, and then the bottom, I'm going to make it bottom. All right, so it's also going to maintain the distance from here to here and the distance from here to here as well. So if I resize the frame, you realize that it's going to maintain the same distance, so it will move with it that way. And then that of this two is going to maintain the same distance from here, so it's going to basically move with it. So this is the power of constraints. This is what constraints help us in doing, by helping us to make our designs responsive. So let me just quickly show something else. So I'm going to pick up a frame, right? iPhone 14 and 15 Pro Max. And then I'm going to draw a shape here, all right, which will represent like let's say an ad banner. Okay, and then I'm going to pick a shape and draw a circle in order to represent an add button. So let's make that the same size. So an add button. Now with this add shape here, I'm going to click on it and then I will change it to left plus right. Okay, and then it should be at the top. So I want the distance from here to here to be the same, that is the top, and then the left and right to also maintain the same distance, so that when I move it either left or right, it is going to move with the frame. It is not just going to be stuck at one place. Then this, I'm going to leave it at left and then I'm going to leave it at top. Okay, so I want the distance here to be maintained and this as well. So if I move this way, you realize that okay, the shape is moving to maintain the left and the right, and then this one is stuck here because I want it to be stuck. I don't want it to move. All right, but then if I click on this and then I change it to left plus right. So you see what is going to happen here. It's also going to move with it and thereby widening the width of it. Okay, so as you can see, this is what is happening, and this is what constraints help us to achieve, thereby making our designs responsive. This is how you stop redesigning screens every time. Okay, so you can make it responsive by using constraints. Note, if you are using auto layout, you don't need constraints. Note that very well. All right, subscribe if you want to master Figma step by step. Bye.